So today we're going to put in a Holmes Hobby Trailmaster Sport 550. I'm going to run a 27 turn. Brad and I both ran this motor in our RX4s. They're not reverse rotation. The pinion shaft, although the same size, is not as long. The armature shaft doesn't stick out as long, so you have to turn your pinion around to put it on. But you still get good gear mesh out of it. You can actually leave the hood off and stick this little piece down in here just to check the mesh on the gear to make sure that the two gears are running side by side with one another. And once you know that they're running in line really well, which I have mine already set before I brought it out here, then you can put the hood back on it, stick the motor in, and you're ready to go. This is a little bit slower. It's comparable, they say. Holmes says he's got a video. He made this motor pretty much for the TRX4 Sport. It's got better quality windings. It's got bearings in each end. Like I say, you will have to reverse the motor leads. I've soldered this up positive to positive, as you can see, for the red dot to the red lead, but you actually hook it up red to black, which you think is backwards, but it's just reverse polarity. It's not going to hurt anything. This truck actually runs really well with this motor in it, and I found with the end of the can open a little bit, as this one is, as compared to the Traxxas motor, which I wish I had one here to show you, but the end of the Traxxas motor, the end of the bell, has got really big holes in it. And we found that trailing these things down the water, down the creek, like we'll show you, debris goes straight into the front of these things. They're pulling water in constantly, running it through the fins, through the fans. This motor is really well sealed up. As you can see, you get the band. You can actually take the band and slide it up around the fins and around the cooling fins on this motor. And although it's probably not recommended by the manufacturer, this will actually keep water from circulating through this thing really fast, keep the debris from going through, getting between the brushes and the comm and wearing it out faster. But these throwaway cans, these non-serviceable cans, are definitely the way to go if you're going to put these things in water, mud, dirt. You know, we like to get ours in the creek all the time. Earlier I was talking about how awesome these things were and how I hadn't broken anything on it. Then lo and behold, I go do a little jump off the jump over here and rip one side of my bumper mount off. So of course I just ripped the other side off, because today we're gonna run without a bumper. Brad's always had his, well, not always, but he's trimmed his bumper down on both sides to where he gets a better approach angle from his tires when he goes up to rocks and faces of you know, just straight up faces. And he's always had better approach angle than mine with the stock bumper. I've never shaved my front bumper down. He's also reversed the mount on his front bumper, trimmed the body up and tucked it up under there a little bit. Maybe we'll do a video about that later on, but I did the reverse mount on the rear as well, where you actually take and shave the stops out, take a little Dremel tool, take the mount, turn it around, stick it back in, and it pulls the bumper in significantly right on the end of this, which worked out really well with my Proline body that we were looking at earlier, because now it sets up right over top of it. Look, it's got a really good stock look. But today we pretty much destroyed that body. Probably going to cut the windshield out of it, see if I can get a GoPro mounted in this thing, checking out through the windshield, just like driver point of view. Like I said, we got the Savix 1210 in there. Best servo we found so far. You can buy the little cheap servos off of Amazon, the little 20 kgs. Great servo, got better power than stock. Don't put it in water. Put it in water, it may last one time, it may last 10 times, but there's one thing for sure, it's gonna stop. The potentiometers in those things that tell it steer angle and where it needs to be. As soon as they get wet, it thinks the resistance gets off in those things, and it thinks it needs to be in a different spot, so it'll keep your steering cranked all the way to one side or almost to the other side. You can't compensate it enough with your trim on your transmitter, and it just ends up generally where you're just stuck on lock, and that's pretty much it for the servo. Either that or they just quit altogether. The motors sometimes junk out on them, but we found so far, if you're gonna put it in water, spend a little extra money, spend 80 bucks. We know we've already spent probably 100 bucks a piece on putting the 20 kgs, the little 25 kg, the blue one off of Amazon. Great little servos, got good power, don't like water. So there you have it. We're gonna put the 2-cell back in. The 7600 Traxxas battery is about the best I've found for my rig. Brad runs a little bit of aftermarket stuff here and there, and he's got some good batteries too, but by far my favorite, the Traxxas 2-cell 7600, just because I still run Traxxas connectors. I like the ID connectors. I got a Traxxas charger, so really makes it simple, makes it easy. Plug it up, hit the button, don't worry about it. But we're putting the Holmes 27 turn in today, Traxxas 7600. Let's go wheeling.